Also, words like bullshit and fuck, we try to avoid them? Or?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
All the swear words you would love to
It
hear. Hello, and welcome to the Dual Power Podcast.
Your speed skating podcast, where we talk about everything speed skating related, inline and long track.
The last 15 years of speed skating have brought us lifelong lessons, memories and friendships, as well as a trip to the Olympics and lives as full-time professional athletes.
In this podcast, we talk with friends and fellow speed skaters.
We bring you behind-the-scene portraits, as well as race reports, training philosophy, inside stories from the skating world, and much more.
This podcast is brought to you by the Due Power Brothers. I'm Philip Due Schmidt.
And I'm Stefan Due Schmidt.
Hope you enjoy listening. Okay, so we're sitting here, Stefan and Philip, again with Casper de Gier. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And we already did a season recap, and it was quite nice. So we also wanted to get a portrait of you and get to know about your thoughts, about your ambitions on inline and ice. You're doing inline skating, you're doing long track skating, or like marathon skating mainly.
Yeah, more marathon.
Yeah, marathon. Yeah, so marathon skating on ice and in the winter, and then inline in the summer. And you won a medal at the European Championships in senior on inlines. And last season, you already had a great season. You skated in the second division, and now you're going to the first division in the marathon series.
Yeah, with marathon ice skating. Last year I was at the Beloften-Competitie, so the B category. And I made some good results and had the chance to go to several teams. And now I'm in a top division team. So now I can battle against other familiar inline names like Crispijn Ariens, Ingmar Berga, and Gary Hegman. So that will be a challenge for me.
So let's start with that for all the listeners who don't know exactly how the marathon ice skating circuit in Holland works. Can you explain a little bit just about the format of the race, the teams,
All right. So if you consider starting marathon skating, you start at the sea level, and it's like a regional race. So every track has their own race, and you gather points to qualify for like northeast racing or southwest racing. And then in that classification, you gather points again. And if you have enough points, I think it's top 5 or top 3, you can get to the B division. And in the B division, there are already like 10, 12, 15 teams. And then I think there are 30 or 40 people skating separately or in duos. And then when you make some good results at the B category, the Belofte level, you need to get an invite from an A-level team. So they call it professional, but it's top level skating. And if you make it, I think top 5 in the B category, you can do 1 year without a team. It's team vangnet. It's like a net, so they catch up the people who don't get to a team. And then if you're lucky, you make it to a top division team immediately. And I was lucky enough to choose between teams, and now today I just had my first ice session, and I'm really looking forward to the winter season.
Yeah, so we're recording this right now in the beginning of October, and that explanation of ice skating, it just says something about, and this is only marathon ice skating, this is not long track ice skating, but it says something about ice skating in Holland, because it is huge, and there's like so many skaters. And this structure for the marathons is also, when you say that you won the overall in the B division, it sounds like, B division, okay, second best. But the system and the structure is really that it's a high level already in B, and in A level you have an even higher level. You have to have a team contract to be able to race in A.
Yeah, and I think in B level we had 104 inscriptions last year, so 104 people racing. So you can imagine you have to do in B category 100 laps on the track. So 100 times 400 meter track. So it's 40k, simple maths. But then if you have 100 skaters in every corner stepping through the ice gets fucked up really, really fast. And then it's not about, if you're a good skater, you can skate there. Because when long track people come to marathon skating, they suffer in the corners. They don't have the grip. They don't have the flexibility. They start to cramp up. So it's really, people compare it, and there are people who combine it. People from marathon skating going to 5 or 10K, or the other way around. But it's a different kind of sports. Just as people compare inline to ice, they say, it's the same movement. But yeah, you guys can agree it's completely different.
For sure. Yeah, it's a lot different. But I mean, you do, I don't know if you do long track as well, but you have done like inline, long track, and marathon, right?
Yeah, long track since 2 years, I think not that much. I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I did one 1500 meter. And last year I did one 5K or two 5Ks, but that's it. Like, if you want to squeeze in long track in your marathon season, to be complete, for the marathon season, every Saturday evening there's a race.
Yeah.
But only one weekend there is no race, and people go to the sun for biking. So if you want to do long track, Saturday you have a race, so Friday, no option.
Yeah.
Sunday, you're complete shit after the race, no option. Monday, if you're lucky, you had an easy race. The legs are okay for a long track race, but it's really hard to combine. So you have to make choices, skip races with marathon, or choose for long track and use marathon as training.
There's a marathon on 1st of January as well, yeah?
Yeah. So for 3 years now, I think they changed it. Nationals, it's national, so it's the most important marathon on... we make a separation between natural ice and kunstice, so it's artificial ice.
Yeah.
And on artificial ice, it's nationals, most important race. You can earn the stripes, the red, white, blue, the national color.
The most important stripes. Did you say that?
You can race. Yeah. You
World Championship stripes.
Dutch national.
Do we have a World Championship marathon racing? We don't have it.
Not yet. We should have, yeah.
We should have.
The problem is it's only in Holland.
Yeah, but then if you can only build a team of 4 every country.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah. Then it's 4 Denmark, 4 Holland.
It's good for Denmark. We have plenty of spots. 4 spots is more than enough.
But for me to qualify, it would be already difficult.
That's
But
gonna be tough.
so that's the most important race to win. You can wear the red, white, blue jersey the whole year. But it's on the 1st of January. So normally the 31st of December, it's party hard and drink a beer. And during season, it's the day before the most important race.
Yeah.
So you put your earplugs in, you go to bed at 10, and then try to sleep. I have to be fit.
Yeah.
And then, it's racing.
Harsh. Yeah, okay. So that was maybe a bit long introduction of marathon skating, but that's really nice because I think it's a thing that a lot of people don't really know about. They know about long track ice skating, what they see at Olympics. They know about inline skating from World Championships and all that. And so going back, when did you start on? Did you start on inline first or ice first?
Inline first, actually. Stunt skating.
What?
Stunt skating. So
Stunt
in a half pipe.
Nice.
Yeah, I played football, I think like every young guy does. And
I did that as well.
They had a half pipe next to the football track. And we started to hang out there. I bought some pair of skates and putting the candle fat on the rails and grinding.
So you could grind.
Yeah, and make a 360 to try to impress the girls, of course. And then it was half pipe skating, and then I was making some sprints. I come from a small village. I think 150 people live there. And we have a elderly house and a snack bar. That's the only 2 things. So you can grow up there, get old, all you can have. So I made some sprints in between the snack bar and the elderly house to show people. And
I'm fit.
I'm fast. I'm fast.
The fastest in all of... What's the name of the city?
Laagkeppel.
The fastest of Laagkeppel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was a guy from the local skating club. He told me, "Oh man, you're going too fast. You should wear a helmet."
Yeah.
And then he gave me a helmet. He gave me a decent pair of skates, and that's how it all started. I started skating and going to ice, and that's the first skating experience for me.
So all those sprints also, showed that you had a potential in the sprints because you were a sprinter when you're a kid, right?
Yeah, when I was young, I was a sprinter. I raced a lot against you, Philip.
Yeah.
And I think in the international weekends we had in Holland over here. Yeah, I was competitive in the sprints, and for the longer distance, a little bit less competitive. And now it completely switched.
Yeah.
From sprints to marathon skating.
Yeah, to marathon skating.
That's like from doing stunts on a rail to marathon skating. That's a big difference. But I think it's good when you're smaller to do some different stuff.
For your development as an athlete, like your all-round development, and that's typical for Holland, I think, because we say we are a sprinter, but still with ice, with inline, we do long-distance racing, and you only specialize in sprint or long distance when you get older and you really make a choice. And then we call ourselves a sprinter, but when we go to Euros, we cannot even make it to the podium. So then if you're a real sprinter, you can make it to the podium, but we are not. So then it's all-round development going on, and now I use the speed for a final sprint in the marathon.
Yeah, and you need the speed when you're a long-distance skater today as well. The racing is a lot faster. So when did you start to go on ice? What age did that become a thing?
I think that was the same winter. Like in summer, he told me to wear a helmet, and then that same winter I was skating for 1 time a week.
Yeah,
on the Scheg in Deventer. It's my home track. I can
Deventer.
Call. Deventer.
We raced there.
Yeah, I did an international competition there.
There was a horrible ice. I remember.
Long track or marathon?
Marathon.
I did long track.
Oh, you did long track there.
Ah, maybe also a marathon. Yeah.
Long track. I think it's.
I remember it was hailing on the ice. It was crazy. There's like a tent in the middle.
Yeah. It's a big circus tent.
Yeah, exactly. And
with a play garden in the middle.
And the weather was very Dutch, so it was hailing from the inside into the ice rink. And we were racing. Like I was racing a sprint. I don't know why I raced sprint because I suck at it. But I was third still, like over 500,000 2 days in a row.
Oh, nice, nice work.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Who did you train with on inline when you were younger?
It was in Eibergen. I was training alone. I was training with some girls, but for training competition, you have to do everything alone. But the literal translation of it is called Egg Mountains.
Mountains.
Eibergen, Egg Mountains.
Are there any mountains? It's Holland. Are there any mountains?
No. Yeah, we say in Limburg we have mountains, but it's more like hills. But I started there with skating. And I think until I was 17, I finished high school. And then, we take a small time gap. But then when I was 17, I moved to Heerenveen already. So to start live on myself. And we had something like Jong Oranje, literally translated Young Orange. It's the youth selection of the Dutch team. It was on inline. And then everything started in Heerenveen. And now 5 years later, I'm still sitting in my 4th apartment, I think, and trying to build something up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that's a good fast forward. I think it's pretty much how it is. How do you start? When do you start making it like a really serious thing, and then up to today? So now it's been serious for a lot of years, and now it's not just. How would you say it so it doesn't sound negative? Now it's not just for the fun of playing around on skates, but now it's a serious thing in many ways. How do you balance like your normal life, being able to make money and living, and then your semi-professional life with marathon skating and inline skating? How's that balance between that?
Yeah. Okay. So for me, my heart is at inline, and I think that's also for you guys. And the difficult part for us to live from inline, that's impossible. So for me at the moment to finance my sports, partly I get some income from marathon skating during winter. I can finance a part of my summer, but also I have to work like 20-25 hours a week. And for the future, of course, I would aim to lower the hours of work and earn more salary with the marathon skating or as something else. And then that's the way how to reach the top level in Holland. Because if you start to work more, you can train less, you can rest less, so you have no chance of training more. Then it's just like you get tired more. So that's not possible. And that's the way how I balance it in life right now.
And at what point did you decide that you were going for marathon skating on ice? Like, when did you switch from just skating a little on the ice and then actually going for the marathons?
I think that was 4 seasons ago, if I'm correct. So